So you can see there's been a lot of cutting going on here. Now I want to try something new. Okay, so we know we have this Shikra, and you guys can go reference its performance in a couple of videos. A comparison with an S&G chisel that was all jacked up, that one, and then also in my Shikra testing video. But this is a chisel grind with a second, actual cutting bevel put on, and that's there for utility, I say durability. Obviously, Mr. Thomas wants to, just like Sparkly, it's not a zero ground chisel, it's more mainstream. Now you can see here, this edge angle is a little bit high. Let's see. And its performance in the wood, and I was thinking, you know what? I don't know if titanium can hold its edge very well. See if my camera can show this. I don't know if titanium can hold its edge at a more shallow angle for woodwork, but I would like to see, and maybe see if that improves its ability to cut into the wood. Initial sharpness, just for the sake of showing this. Oh, it's got some definite spots. 1 second. I'm using a brand new stone, so it's a little bit rough on the diamonds. Okay, it's good enough. You get the idea. So the point is here, let's try to cut into this wood, and it just can't bite. Like man, especially when there's like a knot. Let's see, this requires a lot of force, a lot, and it just won't go. On the flip side, the non, and you can see nowhere near as bad, but the size of these cuts, see if I can keep them all here. It's really just scraping the surface. And heck, it's barely, right? I mean, so let's see what titanium can do, because I know that despite all that, the carbides do keep an edge there. So let's see though if I make that edge angle more shallow, more leaning of course towards if it was zero. I would like to actually, if this was a polished version, I would reshape this entire primary bevel down more towards a zero. But let's just do this way and see what happens. Now what I love about sharpening this knife is, it's very easy. You can see, I put my finger right here, I push the edge down, and I can see the part that I'm sharpening. I can see that shadow, so I can go like this with my index finger, not my thumb. And I can see that there's still when my edge is touching the stone, and then just pull. But this time, of course, I'm going to purposely leave some shadow because I'm going to reshape this edge. So scraped off that ridge, that little corner. Well, let's see if I remove that. Since the shoulder is now removed, if you guys can tell, there's a there's less of a shoulder. You can see I've been scraping. Let's see how that cuts now. See if that improves anything. Let's try. Okay, let's see. Still very rough on that side. On the flip side this way. Oh, let's start doing. Sorry, I'm not. You guys got it from me. I'm not left-handed. Let's see. That's getting. Actually, these bites are a little better. You can see it. The bites are a little bit better. That's just removing the shoulder. I guess slightly convexing. Slightly convexing it, huh? Let's see. Not much of a desired result. Let's keep trying to make it actually now the entire angle more shallow. And over here, the bevel is getting a little bit more obtuse. because this primary bevel is not as wide. So I'm going to focus on this area a little bit by sharpening it a little bit more like that. See. Okay, it looks a little more even. Let's see if you guys can see this. Okay. I'm not on camera here, sorry. Right now it's kind of round on the bevel. It's like these two bevels are still kind of at two different planes, so angles, and I gotta kind of flatten that little hump that's formed, that little corner that's starting to round now. But you can see the bevel angle has increased. Let's see, gone more acute, lowered the angle. I mean, let's see how this goes now. No. Nah. Definitely a lot of resistance still. A lot of resistance. Let's try this way. And this has a belly, so it should be able to kind of bite in a little bit better. Let's see. This is taking this knife out of its intended use, though. No, this is a tactical knife. It's, you know, it's got serrations basically, like a steak knife. It's meant definitely more for that, tearing into flesh, food prep, not woodwork. But I am interested to see if it has any more capabilities in this area before I go and move on to the next. Seemed a little better. Let's keep going more shallow. Let's see. Yeah, it's just going too aggressive in. You know, if I'm outdoors and this is a thin, like a smaller branch, then I don't mind it biting straight down into it because the wood's a little bit softer, it's a little bit fresher, and it goes straight down into it through that smaller branch. So both ways and done. Cutting into something like this really makes me wish right now I had a convex blade that would separate the wood. You know, this unfortunately is, you know, much more too thick for me to want to handle this task with a chisel grind. But like I said, for the sake of this learning purposes, yeah, lots of force required. See, it's breaking the wood, just going in too much and not splitting it. Let's try now the other direction. Let's see. Now, you know, it's funny because you know, the kiridashi, you know, the Japanese kiridashi is a chisel grind also usually. Sometimes, you know, and it's supposed to be this woodworking knife. I said maybe for fine woodworking, you know, maybe like taking small portions. Has this improved? Actually, it does feel a little better. Let's see if you guys can tell. It's still taking only very small, like in a very controlled manner, basically just small shavings off the surface. But I would say the resistance has gone down. Definitely the resistance has gone down. Let's see. little bit more. Let's see. It's still only like a shaving. Try this side. I do personally feel it's easier. Definitely, I mean, if I'm gonna for some reason have to whittle something very carefully now, you know, and I want to just take thin, clean, I don't know, like this, and it's not so bad now. Definitely this more shallow angle is helping it a lot. There's just less of a shoulder to go over, you know, to have to go over. This is definitely a little bit more nicer this way. Definitely, I can feel it now. It's getting better as I keep going. Definitely, yeah, definitely it's getting better. It's not meeting that extreme resistance I had before. Let's see, time. Okay, well, my camera stops at 16 seconds. 16 minutes, sorry. So it's going to restart. Overall, I think it's pretty good. I'm going to go and lower this again, and we'll do another follow-up vid and see if it improves any. Okay, and that won't be real short. Maybe I'll just attach it. Okay, guys, so, man, I found that working with titanium is pretty easy. This is just a fine diamond stone, and just generally doing this pattern. I worked in sections, kind of went like this, trying to just do it, and it's been probably about now 25 minutes or more, and I can say that this is now I finally got some progress. The bevel's a little more clean. Doesn't look like two separate bevels. It definitely is. I highly doubt I'm going to be able to slice any paper. Let's just see if I can make a couple nicer passes over it. The titanium is pretty easy to remove and work with. 20 minutes to change the secondary bevel by hand with a stone is a 3-inch stone. Nevertheless, it's pretty good. Let's see if I can get some light magazine paper. Got lots of those teeth sticking out. If you guys go back to the video about how this works, you guys know. It's a little cleaner. Let's see. It's a little section right here. It needs to be smoothed out. Now before I turn the camera back on, I tested this. I was cutting through the wood, and performance is much better. This shallower edge angle really helps for the wood cutting. That cut was pretty nice. Let's see, watch. First, let's see if I can get to these. And when it's not cutting, when it's not catching on a spot that needs some, I guess you'd say, smoothing out, it'll. See, pretty nice and clean. Let's see that. Okay, decent enough. Let me a couple more. You know, people always wonder why some knives have that little notch missing out, like how this one doesn't. This one does, that little notch. It's so you can sharpen the whole edge, because when not, you end up with that, which is always difficult. So you could just take one of those little diamond rods, those circular ones, or even one of those triangle shaped rods, and just run it over until you dig a little notch into it. So that's no big deal. Okay, so basically now let's go back to seeing how it cuts through the wood. Okay. So now it's got more. You can see the bevel height has increased a lot. Not much. I mean, maybe like, I don't know. The actual edge angle is definitely more shallow. Let's see. I mean, I would like to take it even more, down the edge angle, the cutting edge angle. But you can see it's much more visible, much wider. And now when you go through the wood, let's see. A little better. Definitely get some paracord wrap on this thing. But it was doing it better than it was before, that's for sure. See, it's not like not breaking it like it was before. If you guys remember previously, when we go into the wood, it would keep. Now it's a little bit more making the slices. Not bad, not bad. Try the other direction. See, there's a knot over here. Okay. Got a little knot in there. Well, before I wasn't even able to get through this knot. Now at least I'm able to at least get that part off now. Let's see. Oh, that's not bad at all. It's much better. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. It's able to take thicker chunks now finally. See? Better. Like I said, I probably would. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be cutting anything harder with this blade than wood ever. So I feel confident in taking this edge even lower. So I'm going to go do that later on in another vid in the future. You guys will see that level of performance it will have. But you can see just doing this now, like I said, it's probably been about 30 minutes. It has improved dramatically. I would say that's dramatically improved. You know, still not excelling in any way at what I'm doing, but definitely much more pleasant than what it was originally. Yeah, much more pleasant. So, okay. Thank you.